those of you who are OGs, you recognize this little bag. It's been a while. All my OGs and to all my new people, if you're new here, you've never seen this bag before. This is the turn bag. I left the big girl at home. We got the turn bag, AKA the spend the night bag, AKA, well, I don't really know what else you can call it, but this is it. She's cute, she's compact, and this is all that we need for what we got going on today. First things first though, we gotta get some tea going. And now let's do the room tour. So my check-in isn't till much later today. So I got a day room, got a little bathroom situation, nothing crazy. Y'all, I haven't even unpacked, haven't done anything. Just got here, this room is so warm and toasty. Oh, 78 degrees. Y'all, it is so cold outside. I have a microwave, so I've got to assume that I've got a fridge, which is amazing, and it's humongous. I didn't even ask if they had a fridge, y'all. I had a, ooh, and there's a little freezer. This fridge is warm AF. Come on. Yo, this fridge is hot as f. Oh my God, seriously? See, that's why you always gotta check. You can't just put your food in there. That sucks. Anywho, desk situation. And of course, we've got a lovely view of the rooftop. Love to see it. But in all seriousness, let me go get some ice before I get too comfortable. And cheers, good morning and welcome to the start of the vlog. It's about 9 o'clock, it's almost 9 a.m. right now, and I am in DC. I'm at base and I got on the first flight of the day, which was the 6:30 a.m. flight. If you're wondering why I commuted in and why I have a day room and why I have the turn bag, none of that makes sense if you put it all together, but I had to get on the first flight of the day because I just did not want to play any games. So I have a trip today. I have a crazy trip today, a super senior trip today, a very coveted trip today. I've had people I do not know texting my phone begging me for this trip. So my check-in isn't until late today. It's at 4:40. So I've got about 6-7 hours until I actually begin my work shift, and it's a long day. My duty day is about 13 hours today. So 13 hours without a break, just go, go, go. So the reason I have the turn bag is because I'm actually doing a turn today, which commuters rarely do turns. It's not practical for a commuter. A turn is when you start and end at the same place in the same day. For example, if I was just going to Florida, I would go to Florida, drop the passengers off, hop back on the plane and go right back to DC and be back home. So a lot of time people who live at base like to do turns because they can act like they have a normal job, get up in the morning, go to work, do the turn and come right back, land home on the same day. They don't have to lay over. They don't have to sleep somewhere else. They can come home that day and sleep in their own bed. So when you live at base and you want to have, you know, a regular sleep schedule and you want to feel like a normal person, turns are a great way to still make your money. I mean, we still have travel benefits. You can always travel on your days off, and turns are actually what I preferred to do. Once I got a little bit of seniority, when I was living in Newark, I started only wanting to do turns once I got a line because I wanted to sleep in my bed every single night and I didn't want to lay over. I just wanted to get my money and go. So the only reason I'm doing this turn is because it's what we call a high time turn. It is worth the same amount of hours as a 2-day trip, and technically it is a 2-day because we land tomorrow morning, but it's a 1-day trip. So basically I have a transcon turn today. So I'm going from DC to California, dropping the passengers right off and then turning right around and coming right back to DC. So that's 10 hours, a little over 10 hours of flight time today in 1 day. It's going to be a long day. This is the hardest domestic trip you can work, in my opinion. In the time that we're flying, we could go to Brazil. That's how long we're going to be flying today. Yeah, just preparing myself. I decided to take the first flight in, like I said, because of course the flights look shaky today for me commuting in from Charlotte. I didn't want to risk trying for the next flight and then not getting a seat just because I wanted to sleep in an extra hour and a half. It's just not worth it. So I'm not gonna be cheap. Y'all know I'm not gonna be cheap. So I got a day room. This room cost me $96 before tax, so it's probably like $120, which it sucks when you think about how much it's cutting into what I'm gonna make from this trip, but it's still worth it in my opinion. I'm not gonna sit around the crew room and waste away and accumulate grease on my forehead. I'm gonna sit in this room. I'm gonna drink my tea. I'm gonna eat. I'm going to rest because I didn't sleep last night at all. I just tossed and I turned and I turned and I tossed. Did not sleep one single wink. It's hard for me to sleep the day before a trip for some reason. I think it's just it's honestly anxiety just from commuting, because the flights are never, it's just never like green light in the clear. It's always, am I gonna get on the flight? Am I gonna get to work? What do I do? You know, it's just a lot of anxiety. So don't commute. Anywho, so that is the deal for today. We are going to do a trans-con turn with a cute little red eye at the end. So y'all stick around with me. We are going to work the hardest domestic trip. If you think there's a harder one, let me know in the comments down below, but I think this is the hardest trip domestically that you can work. All right, good morning. It has been a few hours. I got this instant ramen from Trader Joe's. I still have the room for a little bit longer, so I'm not leaving until the second I have to check out. So I'm going to try this and eat this right before I go to the airport. I've never tried it before. It is spicy miso flavor. What in the world is this? Oh, some kind of oil. No thanks. So I'm gonna try this. I love this water boiler thing. It has been the best thing I've ever gotten so far. Also, don't have a fork. Luckily, I found these chopsticks in my bag. I'm gonna go get ready, let that kind of do what it needs to do, and eat me some instant ramen. Set that right there, just like that. All right, I kind of got to hurry up, but I've had a chance to freshen up. I'm just going to eat this and then brush my teeth one more time before I leave and just get a couple things finished packing. Let's see how this is. Smells all right. Looks like a cup of noodles. It's all right. Definitely needs some hot sauce. So I can't remember if I said where we're going, but the first flight of the day is we're going to San Diego. I think we're going to San Diego and back. So that's about a 5-hour flight both ways. I'll get the official flight time later when I meet the crew and everything, but I've got about 18 minutes left to be in this room, and then I'm going to head out, like I said, and catch the probably 3:30 shuttle and head off to the airport. So that is the day. I'm hoping that my nap is going to carry me through the first flight, and then I'm going to have to figure out what I'm going to do for the second flight. I do have a little bit of coffee that I brought, but we're just gonna have to pray about it and pray for energy. So I will see y'all when I get to the airport. Let's do this. So I'm headed to my gate right now. I check in about 20 minutes for my flight, so I'm gonna find somewhere to refill my water bottle and get to the plane. I'm so happy that I got a hotel. It was so worth it. I can't imagine having sat here for 8 hours before a 13.5-hour day. It is 2 weeks before Christmas. Where are y'all going? This airport is packed like it's Christmas Eve. I can't find anywhere to sit. Luckily, I found this wall to stand up against, so I'm feeling very blessed and highly favored right now. I still have 20 minutes till my check-in. There's absolutely nowhere to sit. We are on the 737 MAX, and I am sitting in the back because I'm working in the back today. So I am working the back galley position today. I have one other flight attendant with me working in the back. She's gonna work the aisle. My job is pretty much to restock the beverage carts and snack carts, make sure that she has everything she needs when she's in the aisle. It is the most physically demanding job on the plane, which is why I avoid it. This is my least favorite position on any aircraft. I don't like to do back galley. In fact, I've been working lead for the past 2 years pretty much exclusively. There have only been a handful of times where I've worked anything other than the lead position. I don't know what happened after the pandemic, but when I work in the back now, I get like kind of, I want to say seasick, but you know what I mean, I get kind of air sick, so I don't really like to work in the back of the aircraft anymore. So let's just hope my manicure survives this flight. I'm gonna be hauling sodas and snacks and doing physical labor. So y'all pray for me. This is the position that I got stuck with this month, but I do believe that I am where I'm supposed to be. So with that being said, I guess this month it was time for a switch up, and I need to be in the back of the aircraft for some reason. On the bright side, I don't have any extra pressure on myself because I'm not the lead. I don't have to worry about gate agent and the pilots and what's, there's a lot of things that I don't have to worry about. So I can just kind of be in low power mode, do my job, be cool, and just have a nice, slightly less stressful experience today. So that's what it is. This flight is about 5 hours and 19 minutes. And then we are literally turning right around and coming back to DC. So y'all pray for me. I will catch up with you in a little bit. We are going to rock this back galley today and have a great flight. So now that you've gotten to flash forward in time about 5 hours, I am here. We have just landed in San Diego. The customers have gotten off, and we have an hour 20 minutes until we board for our next flight, but we're on the same airplane. So I was gonna go out and get a coffee, but I'm just gonna stay on the plane and take a nap instead since we have an hour. So I set my timer on my watch, and I'm gonna take a nap. So the flight was crazy. It was really turbulent the whole entire flight, pretty much. There was like maybe 30% of the flight where it was decent. Basically, we didn't get to start the service until an hour and a half into the flight. When we were finally able to get up, we pushed the cart up the aisle. We got 2 rows into our service, and when the captain told us to be seated immediately. So the captain will say either flight attendants take your jump seats, which means put the cart away and sit down. So it means you have like a minute or two to put things away and then sit down and secure yourself in the jump seat, but it means to sit down. The other command that they will say is be seated immediately, and that means wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, stop and sit down right away because it's about to get turbulent right now. So we had to turn the cart like kind of diagonal and sit down right in the middle of the service. I haven't had that happen in a long time. It happened quite a few times during my first year as a flight attendant, be seated immediately command, and I had to sit down in the middle of the aisle in the middle of the service. So this time, luckily, there was a seat for each of us near where we were standing. So I sat in an aisle seat next to this lady, this really nice lady who helped me like buckle my seatbelt and everything in. When I get the be seated immediately command, I sit down and I also grab the coffee pot off the top of the cart and I put the coffee pot into the ice bin. That way, thank you. That way, whatever's going on, the coffee pot's not gonna fly, and hot coffee's not gonna fly around the plane and splash on somebody. I don't want that to happen to anybody. I don't want that to happen to me. So if you happen to be working, if you're new, whatever, grab that coffee pot off the top of the car and put it inside the ice bin if you ever get the be seated immediately command and you're out in the aisle. In this case, the ice bin was pretty much full, so I couldn't shove the whole coffee pot inside the bin, so I just poured all of the coffee inside the ice bucket. So just get rid of all hot liquids. So we ended up having to sit for about 15 minutes before it was safe for us to get the cart and then roll the cart back and go sit down in our jump seat. So we sat down pretty much the whole time, and then we pretty much just hand delivered drinks to the whole entire aircraft, and that took us like an hour. So crazy flight. I didn't even get a chance to use the bathroom or get anything to drink or eat until almost 4 hours into the flight. So that is what happens sometimes. I'm very busy, a little hectic, but I'm so grateful for the person I'm working with today. She is amazing, so I'm very lucky, and I need this nap. So I've got my eye mask. This is my commuter eye mask. I wear this on my commuting flights. I wore this morning, but I'm gonna put this on right now. I'm gonna put on my hoodie right now because of course I'm cold, and I'm gonna lay down in this beautiful, beautiful exit row and take a nap for about an hour. So I will see y'all in about an hour.
12 seconds later.
All right, lights just got turned on, so that means wake up and get back to work. One more 5-hour flight, and then we'll be back, and then we're gonna go home. See y'all in a bit. And as you can see, I made it back home. I got on my commuting flight. Shout out to AA. I got a seat. I got a 24D, the aisle seat. You already know what it is. was. Extra leg room. It was great. I put on my eye mask again and I passed out. And when I woke up, we were back home in Charlotte. So that was a good trip. I will say I actually made it through the whole entire thing without any coffee, just barely, but I made it through. That power nap really helps me. I was really tired initially. After I woke up from the nap, I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that, but it definitely gave me a recharge, and I felt it on that second flight going back to DC. So made it through. Like I said, my crew member working with me was excellent, so I was where I was supposed to be on the plane, and I'm really glad that I worked in the back, although I will say my manicure did not survive. So really sad about that for me. Back galley really just destroys. You might as well not even do your nails if you're gonna work back galley. But anyways, the turbulence thing was crazy. We were so lucky that there were seats to sit in on the plane because the flights have been just full ever since. For the last 2 years, really, the flights have been jam-packed full, every seat full. So we got super duper lucky. I will say I'm probably not going to do another one of those again. I got a bunch of those trips for this month. I ended up giving them all away. I have like a couple left. So if anybody wants one, hit me up. I don't think I can do that again. It's just too expensive to keep having to commute in multiple times because the flights are just there are never any seats on the flights to get to DC. When I was commuting to Newark, there were never any seats to get to Newark. It's just like not being a commuter. It's just like, it's so stressful, and I just would rather commute in, do a multi-day trip, get more bang for my buck, get some rest, have a hotel room to sleep in between days, and then come back home. I don't want to leave out for a day, come back, leave out again, come back, because what I would end up doing is I would have to pay for day rooms every single trip, and I cannot do that. I'm not trying to spend $500-$600 on day rooms this month. So, but I'm really glad I got a day room for this trip. It was 100,000,000,000% worth it. Yeah, man, it's dark, it's late at night, it's like 8 o'clock. I have another trip tomorrow, and I hope I can sleep tonight because of course the flights are looking shaky. So y'all pray for me. I'm gonna go to bed and get ready to go to work again tomorrow. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Woo, Transcon turn is not a joke. It is not for the faint of heart. I think they're best just to kind of like pad your schedule with some extra hours, but not to do every single day, especially if you don't live at base. I can't do it. I was gonna try to do it, but I can't do it. So anywho, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Y'all take good care of yourselves, and I will see you very soon with another video. Bye.